Okay. Testing, 1, 2. Okay. Testing, 1, 2. Mic seems to be working just fine. Video is just fine. We are in the business. Okay. And yep, we're fine. All right. Hello, and welcome back to some Persona 4 Arena Ultimax. Last time, I think we finished the weird, jumbled up story that is Persona 4 Arena's story, because they decided to do the story mode like this for some stupid reason. So we finished Elizabeth. Turns out she's looking for some new power to, I guess, undorify Dorkun, because she wants her husbando back. And yep, so that was a whole separate story from everyone else's. She was essentially just kind of having fun and busting into everybody else's story. But the true meat of her story was her trying to get more power to break out the Persona 3 protagonist from being a seal essentially to Nyx, or the doggo Erebus. But here we are. We finished the story. It's at 50%. I'm probably gonna complete the rest myself, just because if I want to get the trophy, I need to complete all of it, probably. Sup, Galactic Corgi, how you doing? Anyways, we're gonna get right into the story. A mysterious guest. I'm happy that they have the story set a certain way instead of the stupid shit they did before. It looks like a Persona 4 dancing method of story. Anyways.
So you will not require our assistance. Is that correct?
Very well. In that case, there is nothing more to be said.
Wonder who they're talking to. Time for somebody to not sound like themselves. What do you mean?
As for your presence here, this room is ordinarily only accessible to those bound by a contract. You are fated to refine your power. You will most definitely require our assistance, eventually.
Oh yeah, he definitely has a deeper voice, right? He usually talks like this. Welcome to the Velvet Room. This place exists between anal and hentai. That's how he usually sounds like.
Until we meet again, farewell.
He sounds way deeper. You're not wrong.
Most intriguing.
This is...
Are you certain about this?
Imposter Igor.
Our domain is indivisible from the destiny of our guests. Nothing meaningless happens in this room.
Wonder who they were talking to. It's definitely not you, because it's not like you decided not to get their help.
Which can only mean that the fate of our visitor just now will be...
So it definitely had to have been a different person based on how they're talking to him as well.
Margaret?
Pardon. I spoke out of turn. We are only allowed to watch over and assist those guests who are bound by the terms of the contract.
And that guy wasn't bound by the terms of the contract as well.
Indeed.
So, the young man Yu Narukami is tied to our recent guest's fate. I wonder what fate, or rather, encounter will await him.
He's the evil bad guy. Dun dun dun.
Yu Narukami. Now that's a guest who never ceases to amaze.
I know, you want me. He's the chaddest of all chads. Everybody wants a piece. Alright, so this has to take place after the whole... Get the investigation team back together. Alright, it's May 5th, the day after we saw Labrys and the Shadow Operatives off. Yep, perfect. We're in the corner of the chaotic as usual Junes food court. By the way, Margaret has a different VA as well. I guess I'll listen the next time she speaks. Didn't seem that different, to be honest. But that's probably because they got a good voice actor for her. Igor sounds way fucking different, though.
I had a hunch this was gonna happen.
Well, your hunch isn't getting us anywhere. What are we supposed to do? There's not a single open seat.
She is always giving my boy Broske some shit. It's unbelievable. Broske, I wouldn't blame you if you take out your Jiraiya and then Garu'd the hell out of her, bro. She deserves it.
That's just how it goes at Junes during Golden Week. And on Children's Day at that.
So they had her original VA for Persona 4 Arena, but for Ultimax, they got another different VA. I guess she wasn't available for Ultimax. That's interesting.
If it wasn't this busy, we'd be out of business by now.
Today's Children's Day?
What the fuck even is that? Children's Day?
Huh?
I should have brought Nanako.
Sister Con.
That's what you're worried about?
Honestly, valid nickname. Sister Kingpin of Steel. Sister Complex. Watching the kids run around, I think back to Nanako's face when I told her I'd be going out. She looked like she wanted to say something. I feel bad I didn't ask her about it. But given what we came to talk about, I couldn't just take her with me. I wonder if she's watching TV alone now like she usually does.
Yo, Senpai! I got us some seats.
She needs some friends. Get good, Nanako.
Ooh, good job, Kanji.
That's pretty impressive, Kanji. Especially for you.
Damn it, Ted. Leave the especially for you part out next time.
All right.
Wait.
break it up.
Hold on a sec.
Waiting, guys.
Go back to Kanji's sprite. Did he have a new dapper coat on? I'm sorry, I took a bit to process.
Right.
Nanako ain't got school friends. She's lonely. What a loner. Get good. With Yukiko spurring us on, we move on to the seats Kanji saved. There is a table for 4 with 6 chairs he found somewhere. After waiting for everyone to be seated, Yosuke clears his throat as if to drive away all the noise.
So it's a great day out and,
Riveting speech.
Dude, I don't think this is the time for that.
well, how else should I start off? Look at the size of this crowd.
The weather's nice, isn't it?
I'd say I made the right call showing up like this. If I came in my usual costume, the little kids would be swarming my adorable bod. I'd be mobbed.
Shut up, Teddy.
Oh yes, I've seen how the children tear off your fur from time to time.
Wow! Are you being nice to me, Yuki-chan? Has our love finally blossomed?
My hate for Teddy will never truly disperse because of how much horny he has. It's never changing. Persona 4 or Persona Q made it worse, and now I can't see Teddy apart from my hatred for him. It's never gonna happen. It's a tragedy, you know. They ain't got the budget for new sprites outside of making their lips move. Honestly based.
Huh? Of course it hasn't.
Shot down as always.
It's because you never learn.
Look at that. Hold on, can I That's fucking dapper as hell, bro. I swear to God I haven't seen him in that jacket. Maybe it was one of his in-dungeon costumes? I always kept my my first team, my bad. I always kept my first team, Yukiko, Chie, and Yosuke. So maybe it was one of his in-dungeon costumes.
Well, let's get down to business. We didn't
And
get to talk much
defeat
yesterday after all.
the Huns. Sorry. And not to Chie. We gathered here yesterday after seeing Labras off, but there wasn't time to calm down and talk about what happened. In the end, we agreed to leave the details to tomorrow, which is now today.
Don't worry about the crowd. Let's start the investigation team meeting anyway.
Yeah, though we are missing 2 people.
It's just not the same without our full roster of pretty girls.
Who are we missing? Naoto and,
Oh,
Oh,
not
Rise.
only Rise-chan, but now-chan couldn't be here either.
Well, it's not like the other day, where we just lost contact with Rise.
Mm-hmm. She seems really busy.
It's not investigating, it's investimating. Get it right.
She said she had work during the holidays too. At least we got to talk to her yesterday.
Yeah, Nato-kun's job is keeping her busy too. I guess it's the same old for them.
Yeah, what a loser having a job. What a loser. Get good.
Naoto-kun knew things about what happened that not even we did. Apparently she knew about Mitsuru-san and her friends from the start.
Thanks to her, though, we got some good information.
Well then, let's get everyone up to speed on what happened using that info.
Imagine getting paid. True. Yosuke's right. So much has happened these past few days that none of us had a good grasp on it all. We need to sort through what we've learned today.
What was it that started it all? Midnight Channel again, I guess.
No, the Kirijo group making sentient robots and then having them kill each other. That's what started it all.
I thought I was dreaming for a good chunk of it, so it's not really hitting me.
For being smart scientists, these scientists were stupid. They're like, let's give this robot a conscience, and let's not expect it to rebel against us having it kill its own species of things, its own friends. The Midnight Channel, the TV world, we helped to restore peace in it. It ended up being used by someone else in the Labris incident. I don't know how. Labris is the 5th generation anti-shadow suppression weapon, a girl with a mechanical body who was stolen from the Kirijo Group, one of Japan's biggest conglomerates who can't rent their own jet. Someone threw her into the TV world. But Labris faced her other suppressed self there, and by accepting it, she awoke to her persona that mostly wrapped things up. And they give her a fancy outfit. That's true, they give her a tux, right? However,
So who exactly was it that put Labris inside the TV?
spoopy evil villain. Although, I don't know how that villain has access to the TV world unless another god is helping them.
At first, I thought the culprit was jealous of my popularity and tried to break
Shut
us
up,
friends
Teddy.
up.
But that wasn't it. Their goal was to disrupt our hearts by making us fight each other, and then steal our personas after they returned to being shadows.
It's not really stealing your personas if you could still use your personas, though. And it wasn't really returning, because like we saw it in Yosuke's story, he was still able to use his persona, while that other guy usurped his persona's powers. So the other person was usurping the powers, but Yosuke could still use his persona, meaning that wasn't his actual shadow. So yeah, that was a lie. We know it's 2 dudes, that's true. But although depending on the story, the second dude decides not to show up at all and chill with Spooka Yamagishi.
Naoto said as much too.
I don't know. Turning them back to shadows and stealing them. That doesn't sound like something just anyone could pull off.
Izanami, are you back?
Maybe not, but we know for certain that the culprit was using that method to try and gather powerful shadows.
Izanagi, is our ex-wife back? What has she done? Is she back?
Gathering shadows, huh? That's definitely not something any normal person would do.
She's back for the child support. The atmosphere darkens after Yosuke's remark. During the silence, recall the events leading up to yesterday. We had once again entered the TV world to figure out why the Midnight Channel was broadcasting again. Do we really need this? What we found was there was a strange fighting tournament called the P1 Grand Prix. At the heart of it was Labris. Having gone through severe trials as a weapon with a heart, she gave birth to her shadow, a suppressed version of herself which twisted her dream of wanting to be a normal schoolgirl. It all resulted in the P1 Grand Prix, designed to pit people against their friends. Teddy made us fight each other, it sucked? Yeah, Teddy sucks, bro. After we entered the TV, we got wrapped up in battle just like Labris' shadow plan, and we were forced to fight one another. On the bright side, Teddy kept doing the bear coming through, bear coming through, bear coming through. And you know, that was based. That was the only thing that Teddy has ever done that was based. But we also met members of a mysterious organization known as the Shadow Operatives who were in search of Labris and their leader Mitsuru Kirijo, who's the CEO of Kirijo Group. It was with their help that we conquered the tournament. Technically speaking, this is our second time meeting them. The first time was in Persona Q, but then we forgot because of time nonsense. And then the Persona 3 protagonist became a door. So they were using the power of personas before we were. It was reassuring in a way to meet people who deal with shadows day in and day out. But the case isn't over yet. We couldn't find out why the culprit put Labris in the TV to begin with. We don't even know who did it. Mitsuru-san and her people seem to have some idea, but that doesn't mean we can ignore what happened in our town. Alright, first guess, a Kirijo scientist that was probably not being paid or something. Because the Kirijo group can't keep their shit together. So that's my one and only guess. And I'm gonna assume that with like 95% certainty that it's true. So we made the decision to investigate the case on our own too.
That reminds me. How are things inside the TV?
The thought suddenly crosses my mind, so I asked Teddy. After we settled the first case, the TV world turned into a beautiful place, but it wasn't that way anymore during the P1 Grand Prix. I wonder what happened there after we saved Labris.
Still the same. It should go back to normal eventually, but the P1 Grand Prix had such an effect that it's still noisy there.
So the school's still in there?
Oh, but,
Huh? But what? Quit mumbling and just spit it out.
it's hard to say for sure, but I sense these weird presences. They feel kind of like shadows, but not really.
It might be the bad guys hiding in there, no? You should have mentioned that earlier, dumbass.
Weird presences? You mean there's something strange in there?
I don't really know.
What could it be? The culprit, maybe?
Probably. Or maybe shadows that are also becoming like Teddy? More Teddy shadows?
Maybe, but
More horn
maybe
dogs? We all look at each other after hearing Teddy's evasive answer. If something's in the TV world, it can only be a shadow, someone besides us who knows about that world, or someone who can use a persona.
Huh? How would that make sense? The culprit wasn't a persona user, right?
Or was it the guy that was talking to Igor at the beginning? Maybe.
He did say that he used Labris because he couldn't enter the TV world himself.
Wait, he did? But if you couldn't enter the TV world himself, how is it that he's able to control Labris through the TV without TV powers? I don't get it. He has the technology to control stuff through different worlds? How is that possible? I doubt Igor would let anyone onto the Velvet Room. He had a remote control. The remote controls, you have to be relatively close to something, all right? These are in two different worlds, no? That doesn't make sense to me. He had a uber special, ultra dimensional world control. Fucking stupid. That's right. The only people who can enter the TV world are persona users. Yeah, but he's not controlling the TV. He's controlling stuff in another world inside the TV, which is where my confusion stems from. Can't talk today. My bad. Because, like, that's not how controls work. Especially if he doesn't have powers. Now, if he had powers and he was putting his hands into the TV and controlling it that way, that would make sense. But he's controlling stuff in another world inside the TV. That still doesn't make sense. Without powers. For a normal person to get in, they would have to enter alongside a persona user. If someone who doesn't have a persona falls in for whatever reason, they're in serious danger. Either the shadow already dwelling there or their own shadow might end up killing them.
So, wouldn't that mean this weird thing Ted's talking about can't be our bad guy?
I mean, the Corregio group did make Labris to be able to work during the dark hour, and they abused the shit out of her and her sisters. I'd assume they'd figure something out. Maybe, I guess. That's true. If it's a like old Corregio scientist that is probably mad at the Corregio group for something, that's probably the case then. All right, I'll give you that.
Or maybe the culprit can shove people into a TV even though he's not a persona user.
I can understand Kanji's doubts, but unfortunately, we don't have enough information right now to say either way.
There's one more thing that bothers me.
What is it?
I need to publish my OnlyFans, and this investigation is getting in my way. Chad Narukami, 2025.
It's something Naoto said.
I tell everyone what Naoto left with me today. I mean, gang, we know there's two of them. Oh, that's true! They're being stupid! That's true, unironically. She said that when Mitsuru-san's plane was hijacked as a diversion from Labris' kidnapping, the hijackers had no memory of their actions. They might have been brainwashed or hypnotized, but either way, it couldn't have been done by a normal person.
So much we don't know.
But no matter what the culprit was trying to do, if he was after us in the TV world, I doubt this case will wrap itself up.
Just hop in there and kick some ass. We're level 99, we can do this, come on.
I agree. Oh, then does that mean...
Too bad for Mitsuru-san, but we're gonna ignore her request not to get involved.
I know, we're the Investimagation team. We can do whatever we want. Who controlled Labrys? Probably the dude that can't use powers. And then the other person who was taking over people's shadows or mimicking their shadow powers is the second person who probably has powers. When Mitsuru-san and her people left, they told us not to get involved any further with the case. We knew why should they say that, of course. They were worried about our safety. Still.
Ah, so the investigation team's back in business.
Honestly, don't know why they were worried about our safety. We're Persona users, but...
Yep. I feel a little bad doing this to Mitsuru-san, but we can't just leave this be. We can fight too. And heck, this is our town, so it's practically our duty to do this.
Inaba's our turf. We do whatever we want.
I'm in too. After all, I am Labby-chan's knight.
What a stupid nickname. I hate that nickname. Get a better nickname. He probably hijacked the plane because they said nobody remembered anything on there. Yeah, the person who was able to mimic people's powers probably has some kind of weird mind-fucky technique. Especially on normal people that haven't mastered their shadows or something. It might be something like that.
Plus, I can't sit on the sidelines after seeing what this culprit did to my world. It had gotten so peaceful thanks to you guys.
Or actually, wouldn't it make more sense if that person who's able to mimic shadows basically mimicked those people, and then after the hijacking was stopped, just swapped out or tapped out with the normal people who didn't do anything? That was probably what might have happened. One of these people is more scary than the other? Yeah. Yep, definitely. I mean, one guy's using a remote control, the other one's mimicking people's shadow powers, so... I knew they felt this way, but I nodded firmly after seeing everyone still in agreement.
So it's decided.
Mm-hmm. We have to return the favor of getting stuck with those strange epithets, too.
Everyone looks away briefly after hearing this. Those nonsense nicknames that got broadcast during the P1 Grand Prix made no small stir in our daily lives. Although personally...
That makes me so mad! What was that carnivore whose discarded womanhood stuff all about?
That's kind of true, to be honest, Chie.
I could swear people cross the street now when they see me.
One of these people is holding a remote control close to a TV, the other one's hijacking planes. Yep.
Really? I was actually pretty impressed.
Huh? Is that how you think of me, Yukon?
I mean...
No, that's not what I meant.
That reminds me. You seem to like that Sister Complex Kingpin of Steel nickname.
It's because nothing faces the Chad god, Yu Narukami.
Did he?
Sensei, have you awakened to a new name? Should I call you Kingpin from now on?
Based, yes. The best idea you've ever had in your life, Teddy. I wonder if it's just my imagination. That's what Yosuke said just now hurt worse than the nickname. All I meant to say was that those nicknames weren't that bad. Still, I admit, I was honestly impressed at how precise those taunts were in striking each of our hang-ups.
This sure has turned out to be some golden
I
week.
wouldn't call you loving your sister a hang-up,
to
be quite honest, but sure.
No kidding. Shit got stirred up the day you came back. Like someone planned it that way.
Everyone nods at Kanji's words, everyone except Yosuke. To be honest, the worst nickname was Chie's nickname. Everyone else's was kinda just mild. Especially Yosuke's, his was the mildest. Unlike the others, he just shoots me a slightly bleak glance. I know that what it means, but I'll let him say it.
That actually does still bother me a bit.
What do you mean?
Oh, I guess the timing? It's like whoever did this was waiting for you to come back.
That is interesting. So they had to have known about the investigation team, I guess, right? I agree with him. The incident with Labrys happened right when I returned to Inaba for Golden Week. It was timed as if whoever set this up was just waiting for me to get back in town.
Well, I guess there's no need to think about that now. Oh yeah, where's Marie-chan?
Oh yeah, Marie's here. Right.
She's elusive as always. It looked like she was buying something at Sozai Daikaku the other day.
Is she in the opening of, Actually, I don't even think she's in the opening of Arena Ultimax. So, I didn't even think she would be in this game. but that makes sense, I suppose.
What? Nobody told Emi-chan that Sensei was visiting?
Well, it is Marie-chan we're talking about. I'm sure she's noticed that Yukun's back.
She's still the news reporter, right? Marie, she was another one involved in the first case we solved here in Ninaba. We helped her regain her lost memories, and she now protects this town as a minor goddess who supports the townspeople here. They didn't really mention Marie in Persona 4 Arena. Yeah, she was kind of just non-existent.
Huh? Then, why hasn't she shown up? I mean, if she knew that Senpai's back, you'd think she'd be the first to show.
She's been kidnapped, oh my god.
Ah! What the? Where'd that lightning come from all of a sudden?
It's Marie. She's pissed off that you guys didn't alert her about my presence.
Oh, look at those insane rain clouds. It's gonna start pouring soon for sure.
She's gonna have lightning strike Chie in the head. That's when I noticed the thick crowd of customers here has gotten pretty sparse. As if following the families hurrying back inside, we also get up from our seats.
Jeez, the weather report has been way off the mark lately.
Okay, maybe Marie really is gone then. Because she can control the weather or something, right?
Oh, sorry, that's mine. Hello? Oh, Kasai-san.
Who the hell is Kasai? To be fair, this is retroactively adding Marie to this game because Persona 4 Arena came out in 2011. Persona 4 Golden came out in 2012 and Ultimax. Oh, that's true. Damn, I forgot these games were these old. And it was recently that this game got ported, right? And people were like ticked off Atlas for not porting it or whatever. So, yeah, these games are wicked old. They're like a decade plus old. Marie didn't exist in Persona 4 Arena, that's true. Because it was only base Persona 4. We move away from Yukiko a little to give her some space to talk.
That reminds me, Labris is a robot, right? Would she rust if she got caught out in the rain?
She's... Kanji... The Kirijo group probably made her waterproof. Everything's fucking waterproof, okay?
Nah, I doubt it. The Kirijo group developed her after all, and they wouldn't be that cheap.
Well, actually, I don't know anymore, Yosuke. They refused to rent out their own private jets to transport their very, very experimental technology, so who knows?
Mid-chan's group sure is amazing. Her stuff is way better than Junes brand electronics.
Shut up! And don't go dissing your own employer.
As Yosuke and Teddy snipe at each other, Chie gazes up at the cloudy sky. When she notices me looking at her, she shakes her head, telling me not to worry.
Labris is with Mitsuru-san and her friends, right? I wonder how she's doing.
After the P1 Grand Prix, Labris joined Mitsuru-san's shadow operatives since she has a persona now. Even as we speak, she and her companions are probably chasing the culprit who threw her into the TV.
Don't worry, I'm sure she's doing fine. If all goes well, we'll see her again in no time.
Yeah, since we made our decision to stick our noses into this case, that means we're after the same thing Labris and the shadow operatives are. It seems possible we might meet up with Labris again somewhere soon. Then again, we're doing this without Mitsuru-san's permission, so I can't say I'm eager to run into them.
Yeah, you're right. Man,
What's Mitsuru gonna do?
Such a worry wart.
We have a demigod as our persona. She can get good, okay?
Hey, looks like Yukiko-senpai's off the phone.
Oh, welcome back, Yukiko. What was the call about?
It was the inn. It seems a group of our guests is still out. We didn't have any umbrellas ready for them, so I think a lot of them will come back drenched. Sorry, I have to go back for a bit.
Oh, right. I forgot this is a busy time for the Amagi Inn, too.
Actually, shouldn't we be heading home ourselves? Ugh, if this keeps up, I bet it'll keep raining into the night.
Are we gonna literally do nothing the first day of the Investimagation team?
Raining, huh? That thing's not gonna come on again, is it?
Oh yeah, the Midnight Channel. Right. Everyone turns around at Yosuke's words. He says the thing, but we all know what he means. He's talking about the Midnight Channel, which came on at midnight on a rainy day. The weather was just like this during the incident with Labris too, as if to break the silence, we hear another roll of thunder, close to the one we had moments ago. I'm telling you, it's Marie. She wants to murk everybody who didn't inform her about Chad Yunarukami's arrival.
Okay, I'll see you all here tomorrow. And I'll make sure to let Rise-chan know too.
She's gonna make another P1 Grand Prix just as revenge for you guys not telling her.
I'll call up Naoto-kun, though I don't know yet if she'll be able to make it.
Cool deal. Well, see you guys tomorrow.
Cool deal. Never heard anybody ever say that in my life. Kanji, you are cheesy, bro. Any other cool one-liners or cool little phrases that you can tell us? You sound like my grandpa, bro. Alright, we hastily end the investigation team's meeting before it starts raining. As I see Yosuke starting to leave after everyone else, I ask him about the issue he raised earlier.
What do you think, Yosuke, about the timing of all of this?
Oh, that. I don't know, I might be overthinking this, but if the culprit happens to know you, would that give some hint of who it might be?
Bro, there's a lot of people who know Yuna Rukami, okay? For all I know, the culprit could be the Afro quiz guy from Yasogami High, okay? He might have gotten powers out of nowhere, who knows? It was an understandable question, but I can't help but look askance at him. If the culprit had investigated me, of course, he'd know something about me, but not my plan to stay in Inaba during Golden Week. It'd have to be a person who knows me, plus they knew I was coming here during the break. Is there anyone who'd know all that? Like, your shadow, maybe? But, like, how would the shadow be able to operate all on its own in the real world like this? I doubt it.
Is it possible that it could be Adachi?
He's in prison, no? Adachi baby?
You say the dumbest shit.
That guy?
Adachi-san?
This time I'm caught completely off guard and all I can do is duly repeat the question. Toru Adachi, the man who was arrested in the Midnight Channel murders, he should be in police custody now. Which is ironic since he used to work for my uncle as a police detective at Inaba Station. We do have quite a history, so obviously he knows about me, and I can't rule out that Dojima-san might have told Adachi-san about my vacation plans.
No, it wouldn't be him. He has a persona.
What, does Dojima go to visit him? Is he like, you might have murdered people, but you're still my homie? Is that what Dojima does? He visits Adachi? I guess that might be fair since he was his partner for the longest time, but still.
Oh, yeah, good point. Sorry, I wasn't trying to weird you out.
Yosuke's tone is apologetic and he scratches his head. But really, I should be the one apologizing. I didn't just deny that it could have been Adachi-san because he's a persona user. The real reason is that deep down I trusted what Adachi-san said about abiding by the rules of this world. But if it's not him, then who? The gray clouds filled the sky over our heads, mirroring the confusion and anxiety we shared. Truly the best second banana a man could have. Truly.
And then Dad came on parent visiting day, so I made sure to raise my hand to answer all the teacher's questions.
Good job, good job. Best kid right here, Nanako. Best cinnamon bun.
Nanako, you told that story 3 times already.
No, I didn't.
Nanako, who has been asking or talking nonstop throughout dinner, sulks at Dojima-san pointing that out. Whether or not she'll admit it though, I've definitely heard that story several times. Either parent visiting day made her that happy or she was looking for any excuse to prolong the conversation. Well, whichever it is, Nanako seems happy, so I don't mind it much.
Oh, and
Truly
guess
the
what?
sister
I
complex.
saw a really long car yesterday.
Oh, you saw the Kirijo group? A really long car, that rings a bell. She must be talking about the extravagant black limousine that Mitsuru-san and her shadow operatives drove off in.
You mean the limo that was driving around town? Yeah, I heard about that.
Yeah, it's not a very good way to keep secrets. The Mitsuru group should really work on that. Because like at first they had their technology stolen and now they're showing up in limousines in the countryside. It's like, you guys are on a secret mission. Could you at least like be secretive about it? I'm just saying.
A big stretch limo in a sleepy little town like ours. I'll tell you one thing. They won't be from around here.
Exactly. Everybody will clock that in like 2 seconds, even if they're not a detective. Alright, Dojima-san shoots me a glance while responding to Nanako's comments. He's a detective through and through. I think he's noticed something's up. Everybody who saw that limo knows that something's up, okay? You don't have to be a detective to figure that out. Sure enough, after Dojima-san sends Nanako to the sink with the empty dishes, he gets right down to business.
So, what are you up to this time?
I'm using my persona to kick some shadow ass. There's no hiding anything from that piercing gaze. He has to know we came in contact with Mitsuru-san's people. They were so dignified seeming that I had hoped even their outrageously long limo wouldn't stand out here, but I found myself actually relieved to be mistaken.
The day you were due back, a detective from the Metropolitan Police Department suddenly rang me up to ask about the details of that case.
Oh. Was that actually a police department call? Or was it the guy that set up the P1 Grand Prix asking for information about like the case and maybe when I would come back? Is that...
Not only that, but I saw that Shirogane kid at the station several times these past couple of days. Was this all just a coincidence?
That's...
Can't answer, huh? Well, that's fine.
You know me too well. Dojima-san gives a deep sigh and closes his eyes. That's odd. Normally he'd grill me for more information and yell at me while doing it. Well, after last year's case, I doubt he thinks you're doing anything bad at this point. He probably trusts you. So...
Look, I trust you, but this is different.
Yeah.
Don't stick your head into the lion's den. You do understand that I'm a detective and pretty much your guardian while you're here.
But I have persona powers, Uncle Dojima. His strict yet honest gaze asks me to promise that much in return for not probing me further. I say yes, but in my mind, I'm apologizing at the same time. We're headed into dangerous waters, but it's the same as the situation when I lived here. We have to be the ones to do this.
So long as you understand that, then do whatever you want.
Who else is gonna yoinkity sploinkity on the shadows, Uncle Dojima? If not for me. I can't help but smile at seeing Dojima-san look away and sigh. I'm pretty sure he has a million questions about everything I'm doing, but he's not asking them. It's because he trusts me.
Hey, you're picking on Big Bro again, Dad.
This is the opposite of what he was doing, Nanako. We're good. We're fine.
Oh, no, not at all. We were just talking.
Really, Big Bro?
Yeah, there's nothing to worry about.
I'll always be on your side, okay?
Good. When I answer her with a smile, Nanako looks up at me with a worried expression, but her reply is earnest. Out of all the corner of my eye, I see Dojima-san looking uncomfortable, and I can't help but laugh again. Worried Daddy Dojima. That's what makes him best uncle, though. When I return to my room, I can hear the faint rumble of thunder in the distance. The rain that was pouring down this evening had already stopped. If the pattern holds, the Midnight Channel should stay quiet as long as it's not raining. Realizing that raises some complex feelings in me. I have to go back home tomorrow, and as much as I hope nothing happens, I want to resolve this mystery while I'm here. But wishing to solve the case means wishing for something to happen.
Make up your mind, you.
I inadvertently gaze towards the TV screen reflective surface and catch myself with an odd smile on my face. Just a little longer until midnight. Out of habit, I check the time, and the moment I look back at the TV, the screen suddenly turns on. Oh boy, here we go. What is it this time?
The strong win, while the weak disappear.
It's another P1 Grand Prix.
We will witness the hottest battles in all history. The goddess of victory is waiting to descend upon the ring. P1 fans, are you ready? Are you ready?
Why?
Time to let loose an all-out war!
Again?
The contestants in the previous P1 Grand Prix have returned for another tournament, right on the heels of the last one.
Is this the P2 Grand Prix?
These will create another legend here at the world-shattering P1 ring.
This is better than the last one. Okay? At least that's 100% better than the last one.
Some fight for pride, some fight for glory.
I'm not gonna lie, if I was watching the Midnight Channel, I would want to watch the shit out of this one.
Be decided by
You know?
muscle, or will a battle of wits determine the outcome?
What the fuck, I guess?
Things are heating
Where'd she get that machine gun from? What?
Tonight,
I love you, Igus. I can't believe you've done this to Teddy. Best move.
Whose tale of glory will resound for generations?
And then Shadow Labris.
Of the Warriors, as the Grand Prix plunges plunges into its final chapter. The P1 climax is
Barely getting started!
Okay, so who's running this one then? Obviously, it's the same people, but like confusion.
Did you see that? What the hell? Hello? Hey.
What just happened? A what?
Huh? What's going on here?
Junpei, why are you here?
What in the world? The town! A red fog?
Is this the dark hour?
What the?
Huh? I guess the Corregio group has a special helicopter that floats in the dark hour. Also, or flies in the dark hour. That's interesting. What? Okay.
Yoo-hoo! All you P1 crazies out there.
Huh?
Sorry about the long wait.
Okay, thank you for violating my domicile, bitch. What? How are you in here? The TV shows a familiar classroom. If I remember right, the announcement room at the school Labrys created inside the TV world during the P1 Grand Prix. Standing in the announcement room is General Teddy, actually just his head chortling away? That's the first time I've ever seen that word.
The P1 climax. It's the end of the world. One-on-one deathmatch that's worthy of the name Climax.
Mitsuru has a bike that worked in the dark hour. That's true. I guess the Mitsuru group makes all of their equipment to be able to operate in the dark hour regardless of if they got done away with it, I guess.
And best of all, if you don't win the one-on-one tournament to the finish within the hour, the world will end. No punches pulled this time.
How the fuck did you manage to do this? What?
I'll make myself
How?
clear so that no one misunderstands. This will not be taking place within the TV world.
That's a male voice this time, instead of Labrys.
It will, in fact, take place in the reality which you occupy. Enjoy it while you can.
Huh.
Alrighty then. Time to show off how that special stage is going.
Special stage. I saw a tower in the distance. Is that what he means? Oh. Oh. We're back here again. How'd you guys get Persona 3-ified again? Is Ikutsuki alive again? What happened? How'd this happen? How'd you guys get from the helicopter to there? What
Is
just
that
happened?
Mitsuru-san?
I'm fucking confusion. What? They got T-posed from their chopper. How did that happen? Ikutsuki back from the dead. Ignore how he fell off a building. I mean,
what will be the fate of our captured queen and her loyal minions?
honestly, I wouldn't doubt if this impersonator impersonated Ikutsuki from the grave, so... They were in the chopper? Who was in the chopper? Was it Yukari? Or I guess those were the people that were in the chopper. It was Labrys and someone else. Gotcha. I guess I just assumed they were all in the chopper. I guess they were in the limo and then they got captured.
Then again,
Interesting.
if we don't have a champion, everyone's a goner anyway. So she'll be in good company. Best of luck to all of you.
Man, the Persona 3C's team kind of sucks balls, doesn't it? It's like they told the Persona 4 Investimagation team to stay out of it, and then when they stay out of it, they get captured like dumbasses. Not gonna lie, LCs, ginormous LZs, get good scrubs. The display cuts off abruptly and the TV becomes a silent box. Realizing that a strange red light is filling the once dark room, I dash towards the window. The town outside is covered in an eerie red fog. Everyone who was crucified was all the P3 characters in the first arena game. Okay. Except for Junpei. Although I guess Junpei wasn't really a fightable character in Persona 4 Arena, right? Even Fuka, who can't really do much. I feel bad for Spooka Yamagishi. She was the homie that was hanging out outside the TV. She don't deserve that. She's just the spectator, essentially.
What is that?
Someone's flashing a red light everywhere. The streetlights are off, and I don't sense anyone's presence. That hazy light illuminating the town, it's the red fog. Seeing the town in such an obviously abnormal state snaps me back to my senses, and I quickly look back into my room. What is that? On the floor. Are those like puddles from the TV world? Like, that reminds me of the TV world.
Dojima-san!
Instead of green, it's now red. Yeah, it's reminiscent of the TV world, breaking out into the real world again. So it's kind of a different, like, version of the Dark Hour, I suppose. The Inaba version, if you will. No one answers. I rush down the stairs and check all the rooms, but no matter how hard I look, the two who live here are nowhere to be found. They're not even transmogrified, huh? They're just gone? What in the world is going on here? The P1 climax? Are Mitsuru-san and her people really captives? The Inaba Hour. That's actually a good name for it. And worst of all, this isn't a TV world. Is this really still the real world? If so, what happened to the townspeople? A wave of confusion and fear crashes over me as I sort through the information at hand. Alright, sneezed. My cell phone won't even turn on, like it's suddenly broken. It's happening again.
The Junes food court.
That's right. Whenever we had a case, that's where we'd always gathered. If Yosuke, Chie, and Yukiko had noticed this too, then they'd definitely be headed there. Teddy should be with Yosuke, so there's no need to worry about him. Kanji, though. He might head straight to the TV. Based Kanji. I chuckle to myself at the thought, a rare moment of humor in this looming crisis. I know where I need to be, so I quickly prepare myself. Whenever we needed to fight, I always clad in my Yasogami High uniform. To think that I'd be wearing it again so soon. Bro, could you get a better fly outfit? I get that you look swagalicious as fuck in your Yasogami High School uniform, but you're not even attending that high school anymore. Could you get like a tux or something? Or like a cool jacket? You need to change... You need to change your drip. That's all I'm saying, okay? Let's break into Yunez at like... Yeah, oh true, right. It's nighttime. Well, to be fair, nobody's around, so... ain't no crime if you can't get caught. Just saying. It's with a sense of trepidation that I open the front door. His drip is immaculate. He needs to get new drip. That's all I'm saying, homie. Oh, crap. Wait, what is... Oh. Oh. Okay, so we get to do what... We get to see what Rise was doing while they were figuring out what was going on with the Investimagation team. And we get to see what Naoto was doing as well. Adachi in jail right now looking out of his window like, oh yeah, true, he has persona powers, so he'd be awake too. Interesting. Very interesting. Okay, you know what? Let's do this. So these are both chapter 2. But they're alongside these. And then this would be chapter 3, I'm assuming. And then this is another story coinciding with this. Rizzy. Oh yeah, true. That was that idol's nickname for for her, Rizzy Yamagishi. It's like I called her Yamagishi. God damn it. I'm sorry, Rise. I'm sorry, Rizzy. Confusion. I raise one arm towards the mirror-lined wall and close my eyes. In my mind, I see a stage and the hazy shadow of a band. Glow sticks of all different colors shine in the packed seats. I'm looking at them from my mark, indicated with a spot of fluorescent paint. Spooka and Rizzy. Truly the dynamic duo. The moment the countdown hits 0, a spotlight comes on and I reach towards the flooding light and become one with the stage.
Say hello. You gotta say goodbye to 1,000 lies, yeah. Shout friends, just those words you really mean. And let your
Is that Kanamin Kitchen? No, just random people. Okay, so that's where the song came from in Persona 4 Dancing. That song definitely sounds like it's better in Japanese. It's like one of those songs that got translated from Japanese that doesn't quite fit well in the English language. Or doesn't sound that good in English. I was confused as to where they got that song from in Persona 4 Dancing. So, there you go, I guess. Alright. As I calm my breathing and look towards the clock to check how long the performance took me, I see where its two hands are pointing, jolting me back to reality in a hurry.
Oh, crap! I didn't take my bike today. I wonder if I can make the last train.
Is this...
Night, everyone! I'm off for today.
Is this Takura Productions again? Probably. I hurriedly address the people I pass as I fly out of the studio. After a mad dash to Okina Station, I barely made it into the stopped train. Rizzy has the sonic speed.
Made it.
I take a breather as the train slowly pulls out. The last train on a holiday is usually pretty empty, so I sit in an open seat and get my tunes from my bag. There's a new song on here. It just gave me this afternoon. Today felt so long for some reason. It's because the chat is not with you.
It's gotten a lot later than we expected.
Oh, there's my man's.
Okay on time?
It's my man's, fuck. I forgot your name.
You didn't have to give me a lift, you know. I'd have been fine.
That's not the issue.
Inoue,
Come
yes.
on, I'm your manager.
The reason Inoue-san seems so happy is because of the news we got earlier. When our president called us back to the office from the shoot today, we were greeted with a new song for me and a detailed plan for my comeback.
Still, I had no idea that the boss was putting together such a detailed plan for your comeback.
Well, I'm grateful and all, but I just don't think I'm ready yet.
This is before Persona 4 Dancing, right?
That's not true. We've all seen how hard you've been working. You're much stronger than you were. I think the boss is making the right decision.
Are you just flattering me, Inoue-san?
Never intentionally. You sang that new song we gave you today after just a short lesson. You even memorized the dance steps in record time.
I wasn't any good, though. I got distracted by the steps and kept going off key. And I wasn't hitting the turns cleanly. I've still got a long way to go.
It's true. Even as far as discussion of my comeback goes, if Inoue-san hadn't come up with an excuse for why he couldn't get in contact with me until yesterday, the plans could have been sunk.
Rise-chan, did something happen?
Huh?
I know that there's a part of your life you won't let me into, and that's okay.
Oh yeah, he doesn't know about the TV world and all this crap, right?
An idol doesn't need to tell her manager everything. But there's a difference between keeping things private and isolating yourself.
Also, yes, this is where Inoue's sprite comes from. Gotcha. Makes sense. And Inoue-san would know that something's up if this was after Persona 4 Dancing. Because in Persona 4 Dancing was where all that shit happened. With the TV world that he was aware of somewhat.
You asked if you could get some days off during the long holiday, right? And you didn't seem too keen on today's session either. Did you have some other engagement in mind?
No, you're just
Yeah.
cutting me too much slack. Thanks, though.
It makes sense that it's before.
It's nothing to do with work. But there was something that made me realize how powerless I am.
The Persona 4 epilogue hasn't even happened yet. Yeah, because that's during the summer, right? You just returned for Golden Week, which I'm assuming it's before the summer. So many people are supporting me for my comeback, but no matter how much I throw myself into rehearsals, all I can think about is how I was nothing but a burden in the incident yesterday.
Rise-chan?
I'm okay. Were you worried I'd quit again? I'm still set on getting back into showbiz, once I shake off the rust from my hiatus.
I can tell that much from watching you practice. Still, maybe you need a breather.
Huh?
The publisher consulted me about maybe rescheduling the photo shoot. When I told them doing it later would be problematic since you're still a student, they decided to reschedule for another time.
I'm assuming she's also gonna see the Midnight Channel and then gonna experience the whole everything turning off thing as well. I wonder how she's gonna take it. This is May, and when the calendar skips in Persona 4 Golden, it goes around June or July. Gotcha.
So, take a nice break tomorrow.
Inoue-san.
But things will be busy after the long holiday. The success of your comeback project is on the line here.
I really appreciate it. Can you let me off at Okina Station today? If I have tomorrow off, I want to stop by the studio and practice a little more.
Huh? But wouldn't it be late by the time you're done? Why don't I take you straight home?
I gotta say, there hasn't been that much fighting yet, but I'm kind of engrossed in the story a bit more than I was in Persona 4 Arena's story, just because of how they did it. So it's interesting, even if I'm not like fighting for like the last hour.
There's not enough room at home. Please? I'll go straight home after I practice a little.
Well, alright. But don't push yourself too hard, okay?
I won't. Actually, though, you shouldn't coddle me so much either. Okay, Inoue-san?
Alright. Well, we know that her comeback goes pretty good, considering she's working alongside Kanamin Kitchen in Persona 4 Dancing, so... Alright, through the train window, I can see the countryside with only a few lights here and there. The train was empty to begin with, and it only gets emptier as we approach the final stop.
A long holiday, huh?
This holiday was supposed to cap off with just work and rehearsals. Even when I heard Yu-senpai was coming back, I was the one who decided not to change my plans. When I told the others, they said stuff like, oh well, work's work and hang in there. Imagine having a job. Kanji was the only one who acted like a kid, saying, what's more important to you, your work or senpai? That's true, that's based. Based ultimatum.
That reminds me, Naoto-kun had to work during the holidays too.
I bet Naoto-kun wouldn't get all indecisive about these things. When I sigh and take out my cell, I noticed I have an email.
Oh, it's from Yukiko-senpai.
It's a summary of what the investigation team talked about yesterday, or today, and the time we're meeting tomorrow.
It is at 6 a.m.? That's early. I bet some of those guys are gonna be late for sure.
I laugh, but it quickly turns into a sigh. I have tomorrow off thanks to Inoue-san, and while I'm happy I get to see everyone, I'm a little bummed out too. I couldn't do anything during that incident. Well, to be fair, you got essentially kidnapped, so... I don't remember anything else about that day after I finished shopping for dinner at Junez. When I came to, I was already in the announcement room in the TV world under the surveillance of General Teddy. In the end, it turned out that General Teddy was Labrys's shadow, taking on Teddy's form. The shadow was holding this event called the P1 Grand Prix and forcing my senpai to fight each other in it. I still can't get over how you got kidnapped. So like, did you were shopping in Junez, and I guess someone threw you into the TV? Like they Persona 4 you, they Persona 4'd you, right? I'm confusion. They essentially did what Namatame did, I guess, and that's why she doesn't remember how she got there. Since I was captured, they used my voice and likeness to goad everyone into hurting each other. She got super Persona 4'd. Yep. I thought I sounded cool saying I had work, but I got kidnapped, imprisoned, and watched them use my face and voice to confuse everyone.
At this rate, I can barely face Senpai and the others.
Ju-senpai will be going back tomorrow. I think about Fuka-san, who had such tremendous powers that she could help Mitsuru-san's group by describing what was going on in the TV world, even from outside. I wish I could be that useful. You can, right? At the end of Persona 4, you were that useful. I would honestly say that you're the better Nav because of all your buffs and shit, but I guess story-wise that's not true for some reason. Except they did it in public and Namatame was like, yeah, I'll nab you first. True. These villains have super persona balls.
The next stop is Yasho Inaba.
Rise is objectively a better navigator than Fuka and Futaba, by the way. Futaba's the girl from Persona 5, right? Yeah, right? It's been like 15 years since I played Persona 5. Because the last time I played it was on base Persona 3. The last time I played Persona 5 was on base PS3, the non royal version, the normal version. Yeah, okay. Oh, here we go. There is the Inaba hour. What the? That was a weird place to cut the announcement off. All of a sudden, all the lights in the train turn off and the train had already begun to slow down to its last stop and grinds to a halt.
Oh no! A blackout?
Oh, yeah, okay. The train turns off and everything outside illuminates red. It's definitely a normal blackout. Good job, Rise. The evil hour. True. A huge red moon dominates the sky. And in the direction the train was heading, there looks to be a giant red cocoon. Is that fog?
What is that? Inaba's that way.
A cocoon? Wait, so the town's like encased in some kind of weird cocoon? I turn around. There's no one in the train. They've all disappeared. The train car was pretty empty, but I'm positive I wasn't the only passenger before.
No way. What's going on? Oh, right, my cell.
Thinking I might be able to find something out if I contact someone, I look at the phone. I'm still holding after I check my email, but it seems to have turned off by itself, since the screen remains black. No matter how many times I press the power button, it won't turn on.
It's broken? Of all the times. Guys, you senpai.
So Rise now has to run along the train tracks to get home. How is she even gonna get out? Because aren't the doors electronically locked or whatever? Or I guess if electronics are off, she could just pry them open. Apart from the confusion, a sensation I know all too well starts to rise in me. I can't believe it, but there's no mistake. Idle strength? Okay.
This feeling, it can't be. It's like I'm inside the TV.
You're already back at Inaba? Holy shit. She has sonic super speed. I'm moving before I can think twice. I yank open the door using the emergency lever and jump out onto the tracks. I'm surprised that worked, to be honest. See, she managed to do it. Based Rise, I guess. I begin running towards Yasuo Inaba train station. Now's not the time to stay and cower here. You know what? Rise is the best. I will say, she's very brave. That was short. She's very brave. She has a nav persona. She can't really fight that well, but she's over here running towards the conflict. Based Rise. That's the Rise we all know and love. Okay. Now for Naoto Shirogane. Killjoy Detective. The clock's ticking echoes through the room, and I look up from the file I hold. Seems I yearned for some mental stimulation to distract me from the sheer volume of information I'm attempting to process. Also, why were you investigating the Persona 3 team? But when I look up, all that's before me are tall stacks of files I brought in from the reference room. Even when I cooperated with the investigation as a detective, I'd only been in this room a few times. They must have ushered me into the drawing room on the highest floor of Inaba Station today in order to send a message. Don't draw attention to yourself. I lower my hat to rest my eyes and spend some time thinking back on the conversation I had a short while ago.
I see. In other words, nothing suspicious is apparent in the current Kirijo group.
Well, how did Naoto come to that conclusion? There is something suspicious going on with them. Technically speaking, they might not be behind it, but there is something suspicious. Also, yeah, hi, random guy.
Correct. There are no factors that would necessitate detouring Mitsuru Kirijo or the shadow operatives which she leads.
The man holding my report falls silent, pondering something. His reaction shows that he's most likely foresaw what sort of report I'd hand in. The well-dressed man before me belongs to the National Police Agency, Security Bureau's Security Planning Division, or in brief form, the Public Safety Police. Is that like Japan's FBI? Or... because like they sound like a normal police, but they also sound like they're national. So yeah, so the FBI, essentially Japanese FBI. Open up. It was he who requested the undercover investigation into Mitsuru-san's shadow operatives.
Mitsuru Kirijo seemed to have some idea who stole her cargo, yes?
She did indeed. To begin with, the culprit knew the contents of the cargo which even Miss Kirijo herself did not fully understand. It follows that the culprit in this case was someone with intimate knowledge of the Kirijo group's dark secrets.
So then why would you say that there's nothing shady going on with the Kirijo group then? That's the opposite. Or I guess the person behind it might be an ex-Kirijo employee, but that's still... like, there's still something shady going on.
How Mitsuru Kirijo deals with this culprit will surely shed more light upon her true motives.
So then your report is bullshit? No? Or at least your report is not fully done. Because Mitsuru isn't doing the shady shit, yeah, but like she's part of the company that might be. Half of that is true and half is sophistry. I need to discover the trump card that public safety is hiding. Or most likely that trump card will lead us to the culprit of this case, the one who stole Labrys and threw her into the TV world. After a moment of silence, the man places a stack of thick folders before me. If he had prepared this in advance, that means he was weighing in his options. He knows of my intentions, yet he must have made the decision that what they stand to gain is worth the risk. Don't listen to him. It's the Nanjo Group. The Nanjo Group is behind this investigation.
Report to us again when you find out more.
With that, the man leaves the room. Seems my gamble paid off.
Whether I find out more or not, it's certain that something will happen.
Labrys' kidnapper hasn't been caught and the case is ongoing. Even now, there may be developments somewhere. My friends on the investigation team must have been having a strategy meeting at that food court around now. Though it's been a while since any of us have seen you, senpai, so the conversation may have already digressed. Sighing, I force aside the twinge of loneliness and drop my gaze to the file that my gamble won. Naoto gambles now? Wow. Well, gotta crack some eggs, you know what I'm saying? She's not so much a killjoy, she just secretly hides her gambling addiction.
The Kirijo Ergonomics Research Laboratory. An organization specializing in research upon shadows.
What I demanded of public safety was an investigative document on the Kirijo Group Research Institute, which no longer exists. Why? The founder of that institute was Mitsuru-san's grandfather, Koetsu Kirijo. Oh, the guy experimenting on the shadows that caused the Dark Hour. The contents of that report were filled with matters that were hard to believe. The Dark Hour, a different world populated by shadows, that seems to intrude on the real world. Okay, so the government knew all about it, and I guess they were basically delegating it to the Kirijo Group to figure out how to deal with it? Interesting. I didn't think the government knew about it. I thought it was just the conglomerate that knew about it. Wow. Naoto gets addicted to gacha games. True. The mysterious, almost alien artifacts known as the Plumes of Dusk that can introduce a personality. Humanoid robots called anti-shadow suppression weapons that were developed to oppose shadows. Artificial persona users who gain their abilities with special drugs. Oh yeah, those were, Strega. Had I not seen Aiga-san and Labrys with my own two eyes, the supernatural contents in this file would seem ludicrously implausible.
A flood of shadows and the manifestation of personas. There are many similarities to what we experienced.
Why would you think that this was out of the realm of possibilities, Naoto? You realize you were in an alternate world with spooky monsters, right? And gods and stuff? Why would you think the robot girls were implausible? Robot girls built to fight shadows, that is.
The chief difference is that their catastrophe was artificially induced in the name of research.
I sense an unwavering commitment to duty from Mitsuru-san and her team. Though they, like us, are persona users, the horrors in this file must be why I detected a very different type of resolve from them. Because one is magic and the other is sci-fi? I don't get the difference, to be honest. Technology might as well be magic. Especially to people who didn't know the technology that exists now, so...
I hesitate to look into such matters without their consent, but I doubt they would volunteer much.
From what I can deduce based on this, the culprit in Labrys' case is without a doubt related to Kirijo and Ergo Research. The clue that leads to the truth has to be there. Okay, I'm gonna guess the culprit is probably, or was probably, part of that Shadows researching division that got shut down by the current Kirijo group, and they have a chip on their shoulder because that their entire department was basically gotten rid of. And if by chance something were to happen to Mitsuru-san and her people, we would need to know more about our common enemy.
Shuji Akutsuki took the position of chairman at Gekkokan High after Ergo Research was disbanded. Mitsuru-san went there.
I'm playing the game right now, goddammit. Also, so Akutsuki was part of Ergo Research, so he also had a chip on his shoulder. So maybe it's one of his colleagues that are behind this one as well. Because he was a cuckoo crazy person for Cocoa Puffs in the main Persona 3 game. And he was part of that old division. So it's probably his colleagues.
Deceased in 2009. Cause of death: falling from the school's observatory. Was it suicide?
Okay, yeah, that's all that happened.
Unlisted family.
Definitely, he only fell from the roof. Nothing weird and quirky happened. There's no other information in regards to him in the document I gained from Public Safety. He wanted to become the Prince of Darkness and then fell off a building. That's true. Didn't he throw himself off because he was shot at and he was bleeding out, essentially? He threw himself off the building while laughing like a crazy person. Okay. The simplicity of the section in regards to this Shuji Ikutsuki, an obviously important person, oddly left an impression on me. He was like, Zawarudo! And then jumped off the building. I finished reading over the material, but to be honest, it tells me little. Most of the principals involved here are already deceased, including Koetsu Kirijo, Shuji Ikutsuki, and the Persona users whose abilities were artificially awakened. Wait, they're dead? I thought they were alive. Well, at least Chidorita is alive, but I thought that shirtless guy was also alive, right? Cause didn't he show up in the cutscene where Nyx was unveiling the moon's facade or whatever? So he was alive. Takaya might be alive. I don't know. We haven't seen him. Yeah. So I guess this is a report. The Kirijo group probably hid their existence and under the veil of them being dead. So that's probably what it is. Still, I do learn something. The culprit's objective in Labrys' case had similarities to the purpose of Ergo Research. To deliberately gather shadows in order to fuse them together. If that was the objective, wouldn't the TV world have been an ideal place for a test run?
It may be best if I check inside of the TV world once more.
When I open my cell phone and share my findings, scant though they may be, Jesus Christ, I can't read today. I notice that the hour is late. It's almost the next day. Uh-oh, here comes the Inaba hour.
It's a bit late to call them. Which reminds me, I think I heard thunder earlier. Could it have rained?
It's time for Red. Though to be fair, if Takaya is dead or alive, I doubt he's gonna try that shit again. That's true. I'm assuming his persona powers are gone as well, since the Dark Hour has been gone for years at this point. So his persona probably doesn't try to kill him anymore without the medication, because the Dark Hour is gone. Actually, that's not true though, because their personas could try to kill them even if it's not the Dark Hour, right? Because we saw that with Chidorita in the hospital. So I don't know. That word, rained, gives me pause. During the incident with Labrys, the Midnight Channel was broadcasting again. If her case is truly ongoing, does that mean it would come on tonight? A bad feeling crosses my mind.
A call at this hour? From an unknown number.
Well, yeah, but if you don't have a persona anymore, it doesn't matter. Does he not have a persona anymore? I'm assuming he still has a persona. Even if the Dark Hour is gone, right? Because the C's still have their personas, even with the Dark Hour gone, so...
Hello.
I got through. Miss Detective? Wait, no. Naoto-kun, right?
Okay, how'd you get my phone number?
Voice. Is that you, Labrys? What's the matter?
I don't know. We haven't seen him since the stuff with the tower. I guess that's fair.
Listen up, because we got a big problem. Mitsuru-san and the others were on their way to Inaba, but they've gone missing.
Missing?
I'm Boston!
So we were gonna go look for them, but these weird guys came barging into the Shadow Operatives lab. I'm the only one who got out.
Weird guys? Okay, Labrys is in the helicopter, obviously. Also, weird guys were barging into the Shadow Operatives lab. It's me, I'm Boston. We were on the way to Boston to get some hot dogs, and then the crew got kidnapped from Boston. The Shadow Operatives research lab was attacked? Could it be the enemy? No, that's not it. This is most likely... Is it the government?
Labras, calm down. Can you describe anything unique about the people who invaded your headquarters?
Unique? They came in a big group. They wore suits. They showed this paper-looking thing, and
They had a
said
warrant.
something about an investigation.
It's definitely the Japanese government. It's the Nanjo group. They're getting their revenge. The Nanjo group has set an investigation team. Just as I thought public safety. I had my suspicions, but there can be no mistake. Though the Kirijo group and public safety are formally in cooperation, public safety privately has a low opinion of the shadow operatives. Hence the request that I perform an undercover investigation. Honestly, I would say that low opinion has basis. After all, this whole shit was stirred up by the Kirijo group in the first place, so they're not taking any chances this time. They must have found out about Mitsuru-san's disappearance and used it as an opportunity to launch a compulsory investigation. But Mitsuru-san's disappearance, could it really be related to public safety's move? Labras said a moment ago that Mitsuru-san and her people were headed into Inaba. Unless the bad guys are also involved in public safety. Maybe. Labras in the helicopter right now like, I don't know how to pilot this thing. They probably have a guy driving for them. Actually, no, if they did, then that guy would have disappeared and the helicopter would have crashed. So, she's probably driving the chopper. That's true. That's actually true. Why? While I think carefully, sorting through this new information, I asked Labras for more details.
I understand. What's your present situation?
I can't go back to the lab, right? Even if I could, I wouldn't know what to do without Mitsuru-san around.
So this is why they were going to Inaba in the helicopter. I guess she was going there to get help?
But then I found out the shadow operatives got these special folks who only get called up in emergencies. I just met up with them a minute ago, and we're about to go look for Mitsuru-san.
Special group?
Understood. I'll cooperate as well. I'm sure the others won't say no either. We'll all try searching for Mitsuru-san.
Is it the other Seas members, Junpei and them, that aren't normally involved in their operations, I guess?
Really? Thanks.
Labras, there's something else I'd like to ask. Why?
If I remember right,
oh, crap.
they found a weird shadow reading over there, so they were gonna go look into it.
They found a weird shadow reading.
A weird shadow reading?
An abnormal shadow reading is detected in Inaba, and Mitsuru-san and her people go missing when they head out to investigate. Even if this isn't related to public safety matter, I can't overlook this detail. Mitsuru-san and her people are persona users, and extremely skilled ones at that. If they are in the situation with no means of contacting help, then whatever enemy they face must be formidable. And the first such enemies who come to mind is the culprit who kidnapped Labras and forced us to fight in the P1 Grand Prix.
She said the reading spiked all of a sudden. Did
All
something
over?
happen over there?
I'm from Boston.
Nothing springs to mind.
I checked the clock on the wall of the drawing room. It's almost midnight. If there was an abnormal shadow reading, the Midnight Channel could be involved. I need to find a room with a TV.
I'm sorry, but let's continue this on the move. We should meet up at the very least. Actually, is that a helicopter I hear in the background?
Is that Boston I hear in the background?
Yeah, I'm surprised you can tell. We have a maid piloting one right now.
Oh, never mind. It's a maid. Okay. A personal helicopter and a maid piloting it? I never thought my family as poor, but thinking back to that limousine, the Kirijo clan seems to be on a completely different level. Also, I guess you need a helicopter driving license to be a maid in Kirijo household? Okay. Alright. Well, expensive as
Let me think of a place where a helicopter could land around
That's
here.
mind-boggling. I can't even fucking talk. Oh my god. That's something. Kirijo group's over here recruiting maids, and they're like, you need to have a submarine license, you need to have a plane license, you need to have a helicopter license, you need to have a license for UFO saucers. What the fuck? There goes the Inaba hour. As I continue to talk while walking down the hallway, all the lights suddenly turn off. Though it is midnight, this is a police station. There should be several officers still stationed here even at this hour. However, in defiance of these facts, an unnatural stillness pervades the air.
A blackout?
No, that's not it. The roaring helicopter rotors on the other end of the line also fall silent.
Labras?
My cell phone has gone dead, as if the batteries were drained. I try a few things, but it won't even turn on. Damn it, Nokia! Have all the electronics here stopped working so suddenly? I open a nearby door to get a better look at my environment. The empty room is hazily lit by an eerie red glow coming from the window. Walking to get a clearer view, I gasped at the sight outside. An obvious pall has fallen upon this quiet rural town. Pall? What does that mean? Pall?
Red fog?
Also, yeah, that is a tower in the distance. I want to make that the thumbnail of these videos now. Seeing the town enveloped in fog, I can't help but remember last year's case. While the foreboding feeling that the situation has taken a turn for the worse, I quickly leave the strangely empty Inaba station. It's the tower! A helicopter has hit the second tower. Sorry. Okay, that's 11% completion. A warp town. So this is Broske. That's probably gonna go on for a while. So that's gonna be another like 50 minutes. Basically. If not longer than Use Story. Oh, that wait, no, that did not disappear. It's just a different person, so it's going differently. In a different line, I guess. So this is gonna be designated for Yosuke. This is for more of Use Story. And so forth. Okay, interesting. I like how they're doing the story in this one as opposed to Persona 4 Arena, which was a clusterfuck. But you know what? It's been an hour and a half almost. Do I want to do another story? I don't know if I want to do another story. I kind of want to and I don't want to at the same time. I'm going to cut this one short. You know what? Because next time I'm going to do Yosuke's story. And then I'm probably going to do Yu's story alongside Yosuke's story. And then it looks like more story continues afterwards. But it looks like Yosuke's story and Yu's story is somewhat the same length. So that's probably going to be hour and a half to 2 hours. And that was like an hour and a half of content, and that was 11% completion. So, you know what? I am going to leave it off here. Galactic Corgi, thank you for dropping by. I'm going to go eat some crap and not go to sleep this one time because I actually got some sleep before actually streaming for once. So, I'm in good shape right now. Anyways, interested to see what's going to happen the next time. Now that the investigation team's all up in the Inaba hour and the mystery continues, I suppose. The mystery continues. Anyways, Master Gamer out, baby. Bye.